Hello, everyone. Welcome today. Hey, I've got a question for you. How can you scale your business without it feeling like a daily grind? We got to market, we got to sell, we got to serve our clients in the best way we can. And we've seen it before, people who reach for the stars and go for those bigger businesses, even if it's multiple six figures, seven figures, you can end up creating something that you feel a little bit trapped. Well, to help us answer this question, I brought in my friend Shannon Hernandez today because she has scaled a business to seven figures and also has some wonderful things she teaches that are going to help us make some decisions as to how we serve our clients, show up in our business, market, and sell as well. So welcome, Shannon, to this chat today. So nice to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
That's great. So here's what I want to do is I'm going to just introduce everybody a little bit to you for those of in my audience who aren't familiar yet. So very briefly, Shannon is the founder of the Joyful Business Revolution, which incidentally you can find at joyfulbusinessrevolution.com. So that's where she and her lead coach, Amy Hager, help coaches, consultants, service-based business owners to create simple and scalable marketing plans that fit their values, that align with their strengths, that feel good according to their preferences and how they want to show up. She's also the creator of the Content Personality Quiz, which is one of the key tools that help coaches and consultants to show up in the right way for them. It just takes 3 minutes to take. We'll give you that link later in this if you want to go and check that out, and it'll help you to simplify your marketing as well. Now, as I said earlier, Shannon's grown a seven-figure business and very impressively has done so with organic traffic. A lot of people, when you hear about going to seven figures, there's a lot of money invested into paid ads. Hey, that's a legit way to go, but isn't that pretty cool if you could do it with just showing up with great, organic, valuable content? So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. One last thing, Shannon is also the author of Practical Joy, Simple Tools to Cultivate More Joy Every Day. So that's a book we'll give you a link to. You can check that as well. And you know what? I want to say she walks the walk because she just came back from spending most of August off. Isn't that right, Shannon? You were out of the office, spending life the way you want to spend it, and your business kept chugging along.
Yes.
And that's a pretty impressive thing to do.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's touch on that for just a minute. Some people might hear that and go yeah, wow, that's amazing. Take a few weeks off in your business and not worry about it imploding or just grinding to a halt without you. What would you say are two or the three key things that you've done to get your business to that point, to allow you to do that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. So the very first thing that I have to remember as a business owner, and we can get in this rat race, especially in this online space of more. Right. I have to remember that as a teacher, so I'm a former teacher, I didn't have a lot of time off, and I certainly didn't have money. And so when I left to grow this business 12 years ago, I said, I'm going to make sure that I have time off, and the time off will allow me to rest and have creative ideas and allow me to make money. And it's such a flip of the script of what most of us are taught growing up, just in society, right? Work hard, the money will come. Work harder, you got to work harder.
Right.
So I can get into the trap if I'm not careful and get back into that mindset of if I'm not working, we're not making money. But right. It's actually not true in this brand because I have put a salesperson in this brand for that very reason. Because where I was the bottleneck once we started seeing significant growth was I am the marketing strategist because it's what I love to do. I'm also my copy and content writer because it's like my gift to the world is messaging. Yeah. And I didn't want to outsource that. And in fact, I tried to outsource that and it did not work at all. Right? It just didn't. I didn't outsource the strategy. I outsourced the brand voice and the copy. And despite however many times I tried to finesse it, it just was not landing with people. But I knew what I could outsource was actually training someone in what we call our soulful sales process, and that beautiful process that feels good to everyone involved, and working with that person who was Amy to really lead the sales and trust her with the relationship building and the nurturing and the sales. And that has allowed me to be able to go away for extended periods of time and the business still keeps happening. Now, the interesting part of this is I came back on Friday and Amy left on Saturday to go to Greece. And so nice. We have worked really hard as like mainly a two-person team, is where is Shannon and where's Amy, so that clients are being covered when they need something, but also sales and people that are reaching out to me this week, I'm doing joy chats with them and then getting them on Amy's calendar for sales, because I don't want to touch sales. I don't want to do it anymore. I gave it up, and it's been so freeing.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say you have to think longer term about your business, and sometimes you have to jump before you're ready. And so for me, the biggest brand value has always been time off. It hasn't been hitting 7 figures or multiple 6 figures. It's been, can Shannon have time off and travel and do all the things that I'm passionate about while having a business that supports me? And I think if you're clear on what your path is, and then you think about, okay, if I want time off, but the brand still needs to be making sales, I need a salesperson. And it was scary. That was a scary move, but it was a good move in the end.
So some key takeaways for me are, it's a mindset shift and an ongoing one. So you have to be aware of that. Yeah. Number 2, knowing what you want to and can delegate versus what you want to hold on to. Yep. Number 3, find the right person that you can trust with those things to bring in and handle those parts of the process that you want to hand over. And then the third thing that was important was knowing, well, what metrics are the most important to you. And we hear so much with like, hey, I'll help you get to 7 figures. And like, there's talk of money, and not that money's not important. Like, yes, that is one metric of the growth of our business. And, you know, even ostensibly the impact that we're having in the world. But I love that you're like, you know what, the thing that's really the most important to me though, is tracking days off, you know, in the month and the year. And incidentally, you also got to a very nicely growing business that's serving a lot of people and making a good living for yourself and the people that work with you. So that's really amazing. Let's talk about content marketing, which is, you know, a key thing that you do to grow your business, something you help your clients to do as well. And that's an area where, you know, as coaches, as consultants, we get into business, we want to help people, and we know that we've got the story and the perspective, the expertise to deliver, but we got to find the people, right? Yeah. Marketing. And then we got to inspire them to do business with us, the sales piece. And sometimes those things just, they feel off to people, and they can start feeling like something we want to avoid. And then we don't do it consistently. We don't get the results that we want. What has been like, so let's talk about, how have you grown to that size of a business doing organic marketing and not had it just weigh you down in your own like fulfillment and not become a bottleneck where, you know, content creation very easily becomes a bottleneck, especially if, you know, a lot of those ideas are still coming from you.
Yeah. I love this question. And we could spend 5 days on this, right? This is like such a powerful question. The very first thing that I want to say is we grew from $250K to nearly $1 million in a 2-year time span. It was about 20 months. And there were challenges with that. Yeah. And I realized once we got to that higher end of nearly hitting $1 million, it was taking more of my free time that I actually wanted to be doing something else. So we actually made a conscious move this past year to dial it back just a little. That's not a lot of, that's not what people talk about. They don't talk about that part. Yeah. So I do want to say that, to be in full transparency, is
love it.
It wasn't even that was my goal to get there, but we had such massive growth and everyone was happy. It's not like we imploded, because I had the team and I had the systems, but I didn't get to retain that amount of autonomy and freedom that I had at the 250K. So I dialed it back some, just to say that. And I think that's important to share, right? Is we all have to find what that sweet spot is for us. As far as the content creation goes, I love storytelling and I love teaching. I'm a former teacher and a former professor. And early on in this business, when we didn't have that kind of growth, I had been like, oh, I was a teacher, I'm putting that over there. And then I was just trying to do whatever I was doing to attract people. But when I really came back to what I call my one innate gift, the one thing in this brand that moves everything forward, it's a monthly teaching and training. That's it. That's what it does. Right. And so there's a lot of misconceptions people have, and I had them too, about growing a brand. You know, I only have 3 people plus myself that I pay every month. I don't have a huge team. We keep it lean and we keep it focused, and I focus on only the things that matter, right? So I have Amy, who's in sales and helps with coaching. I have Lou, who's my tech VA, and I have Jordan, who's the client concierge. And outside of that, that's it. That's my whole team. And that is refreshing. I don't need a big team. The other thing I realized on this path, and I'm going to come back to this content piece, is that, you know, it really surprises people that I only have a list of 2,500 people on my email list. And it's not about...
Does everyone capture that 2,500 people? Like,
yeah.
Wow. I love that you're giving all this behind the scenes stuff. This is great. Keep going. Sorry to chime in, but like,
we hear like more, you need more people, you need more leads, you need a bigger list. And, you know, you were in my community yesterday and we were talking about this, in an interview. It's not that we need more. You need to understand how to work with what you have and make it better. And so we've really led the crusade in the marketing world to say, more is not better, better is better. Doing it better is better. And that's been, I really want to share that because people will reach out to me and say, oh my God, will you speak on our stage or on our summit? The email list size is 5,000 or 10,000. And I'm at that freaking bat every time those emails come in. I'm like, why are you measuring this? This is not what matters. This is not what matters. And they won't take me. They will not take me if I don't have the certain amount. And I refuse to lie about it. So, you know, it's their loss at the end of the day.
Totally. 100%.
But it's antiquated data that people are working with. So, you know, it's quality of time off here. That's important. Quality of the content, quality of my list. We clean our list every 6 months. Awesome. I'm not concerned about a big list. I'm concerned about a community that cares about what I have to say, and I care about helping them reach their goals. And that is a fundamental shift that I think a lot of people could just make in terms of their marketing, and it would improve 100% right there.
Yeah.
As far as content creation goes, I sit down and I write a newsletter a week. Mm-hmm. And this is interesting. The newsletter goes out on Monday morning, 8 a.m. And then that newsletter goes out Wednesday at 8 p.m. to anyone that didn't open it. So it's the same content.
Awesome.
And then I pull 3 posts a week to do something with somewhere. So I pull content or I take the email in its entirety. I'm not churning out tons of content because once again, it's not about the quality of content. It's about, it's not about the quantity. It's about the quality of the content.
Yeah.
And so I don't spend a lot of time I love content creation, but I don't spend a lot of time there. I spend a lot of time doing art and cooking and working with my clients and helping them come up with ideas. And I think this is such a narrative that needs to be talked about in this space.
That's fantastic. Now, you know, I think a lot of people, they go with organic content because it is free and early on. I mean, free in terms of money, like it's our time, obviously, and our energy. And we also recognize that it can take some time to have it get that traction going. So when you tell people, hey, I grew this on organic and I can help on organic content and I can help you do the same, what do you say when they're like, but isn't that going to be the slow route to go? Or there's certain things that you do to, inject extra fuel into that and get more out of the content in terms of growth. And again, we're not going for a huge list size. I love that you shared that. Yeah. But to still consistently bring the people in that we need in order to be closing new clients and helping new people regularly. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because first we have to get to definition for each person, what is slow versus fast growth. Because to you and me, that may be two different things, right? So when people say these things, which are valid things, I always say, well, what does that mean to you, right? What does it mean to you if they do talk to me? But here's the thing. Because we lead with our values of time off and lifestyle and joy and doing marketing that's fun and not spending all your time marketing, we don't get people who come and say that stuff to us. But we are actively, it's part of our messaging ecosystem. It's part of the content that we put out. Here's what we believe. Here's what we've been able to achieve for ourselves, but also our clients. And here's what we'd like to help you with. And I think that's super important because and I am not making revenue promises to people. I am not making these bogus promises that we hear in the space, because I don't want those clients. I did that once. It was not joyful, right?
Yeah.
So we lead with the values, and we lead with the transformation of what's possible without making bogus claims, because at the end of the day, I really can't ensure if you're going to grow your business by X amount, if you're going to land X amount of clients. There's a lot of things out of our control. In general, my control and your control. Right? An economic recession hits. Well, none of us are meeting our revenue goals for a while, but are you in it for the long haul? That's the kind of people that I want to work with.
Yeah, it's so easy to structure our business against the objections that people might have. And we're thinking, really broadly in terms of like who might have those objections. What I hear you saying is like when we're very specific about who we want to work with most, who we do our best work with, who's going to enjoy working with us the most, some of those things just fall away, and we just need to be listening to like, well, what's important to them.
Yeah.
And so, rather than structuring and so that's one way to structure business that doesn't make you feel trapped, is it's so important to know. I mean, I keep bringing up a Venn diagram all the time in my content and with my clients of like, here's the circle of you with like, what's your lifestyle, your strengths, your presence, your values, all this thing. And then the ideal people you want to serve, and what are they looking for? And then, hey, we find that business model, that approach right there in the middle. And don't make that circle too big or have it engulf stuff that just doesn't need to be a concern for you when you are designing your approach to marketing, your approach to sales, your approach to offers and delivery and things like that. So, love that. So along with scaling comes, you got to scale the delivery of your offer. And this is something I talk about a lot. Like if you're doing one-to-one, inherent bottleneck of your time and energy, at some point you max out as to how many people you can serve. And maybe that there are a lot of people that will love that. And it's just like, that's my business. I love it. I have my 10 clients. I keep it full. I'm good. Yep. And then others will be like, hey, I would love to have a bigger impact in the world. Right. Mm-hmm. But when you do the thought experiment of, hey, if 20 ideal people showed up tomorrow, could you say yes to them? A lot of them are like, hey, that would be amazing. But no, it would immediately be overwhelmed, overloaded, too many expectations, too much time. So I would like to talk about what are the changes that you've made from two angles. What are the changes that you've made along the way to make your delivery more scalable? And how does your content personality work into, so for you have a certain content personality, or how can those listening adjust their content personality to make the delivery of their program enjoyable as it does scale, so that as it's getting bigger, you're not like, oh, this is getting more and more untenable. I can't do this anymore. Yeah. What advice would you have?
So, when I came into the online space 12 years ago, everyone said at the time that you started with one-on-one and went to group, or there was a camp that said you started with group because it was cheaper and then you went to one-on-one. I didn't listen to any of that shit. That's the first thing I want everyone to know. Put your earphones on and listen to your heart. Like that's what you need to do, is tap into what you want. And I realized, so I had built a very successful one-on-one client practice. I had 12 marketing clients at one time. But guess what the pitfall of that was? Yeah, I was making a lot of money and I had a wait list and people were paying for a spot to open and they would just sit on the wait list. But I couldn't go off for 18 days.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that because how was I going to serve them, right? So I got to thinking, how can I develop, and this is my curriculum background and curriculum brain that went in action. Yeah. How can I develop a hybrid model where they are getting one-on-one strategy, and then for the content piece where they need to listen to something, we have a training library, and then they can submit it via Google Docs for my review. And that is actually how we built our main program called Joy Fueled. And it's been super successful. And then when I brought Amy on, so she just think about the journey, they interact with the content, they book a sales call with Amy. She puts them on my calendar if they purchase to onboard. I do the strategy. I pass the notes off to her. She does all the one-on-one. they're in the group sessions with me where I'm teaching the content stuff and we have a resource library for them. And then I'm looking at their messaging. They are getting full like service, right? On marketing, messaging, and selling and mindset, honestly, because Amy does a lot with that in the one-on-one coaching. So it was hard for me to transition to that because I had a belief. It doesn't matter if it was true or not. It's not true. But I had a belief for a long time that if I wasn't working with people one-on-one and meeting them every single week, they weren't going to move forward. And when I dug to the bottom of that, I realized that belief came from years of teaching. It was the same belief that if they don't do their homework, I'm a failure as a teacher. And I had to let it go. And I had to say, you know what? People are going to pay me and they're going to do whatever they're going to do. Yes, I want them to be successful, but they got to want it more than I want it for them. And that was really like my revelation on myself. It had nothing to do with them. And so we transitioned all the one-on-ones into the group, and that blossomed into a beautiful group program that we would call a hybrid model, like what I explained here. And everyone's getting what they need and they're happy. And if they need me for something, they ping me on Facebook or send me an email and say, hey, I've got some copy. Do you mind looking at it? I don't mind looking at it at all. So it's getting rid of, is it one-on-one? Is it group? Is it whatever? It's more like what jazzes you up, and my content personality is live. And so I much prefer a live group than a one-on-one. I actually do not love one-on-one sessions. I don't love it. Right. And I only take 2 one-on-one clients every 6 months. And that's why. And they know it. And there's a wait list for those people waiting for a spot to open. But I love the group dynamic. And I think we have to get back to serving people in like our best way to serve people and our best energy, and being creative with the flow and the content and the curriculum so that everyone gets what they need on a personalized level without burning you out.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's easy to fall in the trap of thinking like your delivery needs to look a certain way because you see how other people are doing it. But it came back to like, okay, how do I want to show up? I like showing up live. And how can I make this more of a one-to-many without sacrificing results? And so what you're saying is like your curriculum brain structured a process of like, okay, well, this is our process for getting these people to these outcomes. Now, how can I give them support without it having to be me one-on-one all the time, but more at scale? And then the client hub where they can access tools and training and other things as well. And that's 100% how I run my programs too. And there's still enough latitude to give people a bit of customization through there too. It's like, you know, I would say get away from anybody. Like if you're doing custom for every single client, it's going to be really hard to scale. Yeah. But I imagine that, you know, somebody comes in and they've got a couple of the pieces done, or you do an assessment, whatever. It's like, okay, maybe you don't need this piece and you'll go past it, or maybe we'll shuffle it, you know, but it's still, you know, a set curriculum that you've put together, I'm guessing, right? And
this, I think, is one of the bottlenecks that so many people, and I get it, who are in the one-to-one model, because when they come to me and they're like, okay, I'm maxed out on one-to-one, or I want to scale, you'll often hear them say, and I'm sure you will hear this too, well, everyone's different. Well, if you actually look over the last 20 people, you said the same thing 20 times at least. Yeah. What are the things you continue to say over and over again? That needs to be a video.
Yes.
That needs to be a content. It needs to be a worksheet. It needs to be something like send them there, and they don't have to be long. They can be 10-minute powerful video with the worksheet can move people off of the thing and on the right path. So I know that's a objection that I hear a lot. Well, everyone's different. I have to customize it. And yeah, we customize it, but I don't need to talk about the 6 types of content with every single person that comes through the program. They can go watch the video and figure that out. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the process can still be based on frameworks, not formulas, where it's like, yeah, well, here are the fundamentals and here are the things that, you know, but you got your content quiz and you're like, look, I'm not going to say you have to do audio. I'm not going to say you have to do blogging. I'm not going to say you have to structure it to you, to your value, because it's what you do in your business as well, right? So there is that place to allow it to be different for each person while still maintaining the structure that they need to succeed and allow you to have the freedom and flexibility in your businesses as well, right? So we're about out of time here. So I want to let people know a couple things that they can check out if they loving what's going on here. So first, we've mentioned a few times your content personality quiz, which everyone can find at joyfulbusinessrevolution.com/quiz. Takes you 3 minutes, and it's going to say, hey, here's where you should be focusing. And if you're not, maybe that's why it's feeling like a grind to you. So it's one simple thing you can do today is to start making your marketing feel better, right? And if you love this message of, hey, let's have more joy in life and business, you've got the Practical Joy book at practicaljoybook.com. I notice there's a lot of great resources and things there that people can check out as well. Is there anything else you want to mention for people who are interested in this topic and love to connect with you more?
I just say, I'm an open book. I tell it like it is.
Yeah.
And I also am very transparent, and I share the things, like I said with you, like the things that have worked, haven't worked. We've dialed it back. And I think that's the best kind of support you should look for, is somebody that isn't all like smoke and mirrors and really will get real with you about the things that matter. And when you're on a journey to scale your business, you need to look for a mentor who has the type of business already that you want, because that's where a lot of people, the scaling goes south really fast because they get a mentor who's done whatever they've done, but it's not matching the lifestyle. So it's super important to ask the questions.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you so much, Shannon, for your time today. And for those who've enjoyed this as I have, you can look forward to more collaborations between Shannon and I. We'll be in touch about that through all our usual channels, so you can look forward to that. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you online again very soon. Bye-bye.